Buying first house tips include the timing of the purchase. It is better to look at the house in the spring, during the period of active snow melting and high soil moisture. Many people make the mistake of going for an inspection in the winter. This, of course, has its advantages. In particular, you can make sure that the heating system is functioning properly. Do not hope that the owner of the house will honestly tell you about the existing shortcomings of his home because he is interested in selling it quickly and profitably. You have to get to the bottom of the truth on your own. For example, a heart-to-heart conversation with neighbors will be very useful. This is one of the good tips when buying a house. You need to evaluate not only the house itself, but also its location and the area adjacent to it. Is there excessive moisture in the area? Is the house hidden from the sun's rays by trees or neighboring buildings? How convenient are the entrances? Are there high-voltage power lines or industrial facilities nearby? Good tips when viewing a house to buy indeed. If you choose a professional real estate agency, they can certainly help you understand these points more in detail as they always do the research. Your tips when viewing a house to buy should include asking questions. Indeed, the list should be very long. You must be ready to write down and ask even the tiniest concern you have. Sometimes the owners forget to mention some facts that can be discovered through your questions. Take pictures of places that are questionable from your point of view. Discuss it with your realtor and clarify every doubt you have. A house is not just square meters. Know some tips and tricks for buying a house. Comfort depends not only on the area, neighborhood, the house overall, but most importantly how the house is designed, the layout. Know what you are searching for, maybe a bigger living room. Study the layout of that house. Know if you can customize it to your needs. Is there any restriction on renovating the house? Tips for buying your first house can help you much for your upcoming purchases. Do not forget about places for storing household belongings, pantries, closets, dressing rooms. Well, you might be thinking, there are so many other things, why focus on lighting so specifically? This is where tips to buying a house come along. How comfortable you will live in your new home depends to a large extent on the amount of light it gets. Natural light plays a very vital role in the overall comfort of the house and daily routine. There should be plenty of natural light in living quarters. Pay attention to where the windows are. Which rooms get the most sunlight? If after examining all general conditions of the house, and you come to the conclusion that you are satisfied with everything, you can begin to get acquainted with the documents for real estate. This stage is no less, and maybe even more. The list of documents that need to be checked is quite extensive and can vary depending on the type of housing in sight and on the history of ownership of the object. After one purchase, you will become more familiar with these tips on buying a house for the first time. Tips to buying a house consist of many stages as discussed, and a lot of work that can become a headache for you if not consulting a good realtor. Hiring a real estate agent is one of the first checkpoints in any home buying tips. Trained professionals are able to use their wealth of knowledge, skills, and experience to help you sell your home for the maximum possible profit. Moreover, a realtor can definitely give you insight into the market and advise you of important timelines when you should buy a house. Even very good house buying tips can't see these expenses coming, but they always do. It is undeniable that during the process of house buying you will face some additional costs and expenses, whether it is with documents or related to the house itself. To avoid the headache and stress about it, know beforehand that you need to keep a small budget for extra expenses in case they happen. For this specific tip on buying a house, you will need the help of a technician for a thorough examination. Let's see some general things you should be careful about. Roof condition. If you see stains from smudges, mold or mildew, then the roof is leaking and repairs will require a significant investment. External walls. Cracks on the outer walls of the house can indicate serious defects and further consequences which you want to avoid for sure. Foundation and basement. It is not so easy to independently assess the quality of the foundation. You might need help from a professional. Water supply. Check the pipes for leaks or rust and find out where the water comes from. Ventilation. Check the vents and make sure they are not clogged. By following the tips and tricks for buying a house, you will indeed get one step closer to a great deal with a smooth process. Trust the professionals and enjoy the journey.